Welcome to Code with Steven. We're already on it. We are progressing gradually. We are going really far. I hope you're catching up with us. Okay. So, as a matter of fact, we've been able to do a lot of things on our basic for beginner guide, and we're able to do some projects. If you check, these are all the projects we did so far. Take your time, go through the projects, and see if you're able to achieve all of this. Okay. So now that I've been able to accomplish all of this, we now to move on to the next phase, which is the intermediate phase. So on this intermediate phase, what are we actually looking at for? What are we going to learn on intermediate phase? Like I explained to you the previous time, we will learn we'll start with elements, a list, and from list element, we move on to other one. So talking about list element. What is list element? Let's move on. Let me open my edition. Let's start. So you see the list element. The list element has two major categories: ordered and unordered lists. They will still have other one like description list and the rest of them. But I will call those ones minor category. Okay, category. And I also try my best to pick a few of them, so I also get the knowledge about those other things. So like I said, we have two types of list elements: ordered list and ordered list. Now, how do you code on ordered list? Just from the word, you use the word. You just take the first word from the first letter and the first word from the second letter, or the first number, the first then I don't have to put it, but you understand me. Just take the first alphabet here, the first alphabet from the first word, which is unordered. You take the first alphabet, which is U, and the first alphabet from the second word, which is L in list. So it now become UL. Okay, and don't forget, as usual, your less than and greater than must always be there. So this is how you code it. Okay, you less than UL greater than, then another less than, and stuff like this. Okay, so now talking about list and how we to code list. So we just talk about some list elements. Now let's see how we can actually code this completely. Let's say you want to code it, you want to go to VS Code now and code them. How do we do it? From that on, let's start with the unordered list. If you check very well, this is a very good sample of an unordered list. See our first view that I told you about, and this is the second. This is the opening, this is the closing. And if you could remember, I told you that sometimes you can put them in a straight line, or you bring it down and put everything in between. For this case, we bring it down. So mainly you bring it down, you open your UL, bring it down, and you put the first one, which is LI. If you check very well, none of this is changed. LI opening, LI closing. LI opening, LI closing. Please don't mistake this to be LE1, LE2, LE3. No. If you do that, it won't go. Okay? So just know that for your list, you have UL, then you have LI. I think I have a diagram to show that. Let me check. So you see it. Diagram to show it first before we proceed to that. Okay? I've shown you this. There's a diagram to that effect. Let me see if I can get the diagram. So I'll use it to explain very well for you. Diagram for this. I want to search for it. Aha, this is it. So you see that immediately you see the UN and you see the UL. Then the first one is LI. So in between your LI, opening LI and closing LI, you type what you want. And if it's not just one item, you can also type more item. You press enter, copy, and you can even copy this. Maybe by the time we start solution on my own, I'll tell you you can copy this and just keep on changing the middle. Because if you check very well, both are correct. Both are the same, both are the same. So just keep on changing the middle to what you want. And this is what was actually achieved here. But if you check very well, let's open. You see that, and the first one is carrots, the next one is potato, the other one is cake. So what do? They simply just copy, and you just change those words. I keep on bringing it down and adding more. So this is how you work with list. Okay, but in a jiffy I will show you. Now, what are things that you can use list? Just take a look at this. This should be FBI list of most wanted people in America. If you check this diagram you are seeing, this picture, this image, what they use to accomplish this is simply list. Okay, they use list and maybe add some CSS and the rest of them. By the time we get there, we'll come back to discuss. List is very, very important as a programmer. You always make use of list. For example, you want to go and buy something in a grocery shop, online shop, all those prices, most of them are list. It's list item. So those are the importance of list item. It cannot really be overemphasized. You need list item for most of the things you do. And like I told you, we have an unordered list. And if you check, like for example, we have a list item for milk, eggs, and flour. So this is how you code list item. So having explained this, let's go ahead now and see how we can actually code list. And don't forget that we also have what is called description list. How do you do description list? If you check this description list, just from the name description, it helps to describe the list item. For example, K, I want to describe K. What do? You say K is a leafy green vegetable. And what do you use for that description is use DL. DL, add it up and stuff like that. So always check this as we move ahead now and code using list. So let's open our VS Code now and move on. This is what we want to achieve on this. Sorry, I forgot to let you know about it. We want to achieve this material set that is written down here. We want to make sure that we put them in list item. See, just like a paragraph, just like a word, we want to put this in list items, and this thing we are seeing will simply become like this. Okay, so imagine something like that, now well organized to be like this. How do you achieve this? Using this to achieve this. Without much ado, let's go ahead and code that. So as usual, like I always tell you, I would like to copy everything and then start listing. Either you copy it once or you start copying them one after the other, just the way we did the other time. But you cannot use, it's not compulsory that you're going to use what I write down here. You can use your own personal list as list. Okay, so you can write this on your own and then group them into list. So let's go ahead and start. Come over here. The first thing to type, because we want to start with unordered list. So that is UL. Okay, don't forget that. Press your enter. Now it has opened. We have the opening tag and the closing tag for UL. So in between, you bring it down. You won't type anything down. You type list, which is LI. So you type your LI. And how many items are there? You come over to your client, check what your client told you to do. We have, you count the item, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. And if you could remember, these ingredients for the dough and all these are headings. So let's put the heading first. The first one is silver receipt for the best cinnamon rolls. So copy that heading and let's make this as usual like heading 2. So you find that as we are progressing now, all that we've learned from the beginner's class, we're now using them as we are progressing. For that, you can put it under your UL or you just put it outside your UL. Any way you put it is okay. And make use of your BR so that there'll be a break. And please let me also inform you something about BR. If you notice very well, this is BR, right? I always do that for BR, there will always be a /. But for this particular one, there's nothing like /. Let me make it big so you know it. Sorry, I didn't tell you at the beginning. See, there's nothing like /. So BR can come without /. It can also come with /. Also HR, the self-closing tag, call it void element. And mind you, I will always suggest that you follow the slash, because follow the slash to understand that it's not an opening or closing tag. If you just see this way, you think that maybe this is just an opening tag, so you will not start to think of bringing the closing tag. But remember, BR is self-closing, or you call it void element. So having explained this, let's move ahead and put the heading, and let that be heading 2. Heading 2, and I always like to format my work very well, so I'll take this back and to look. Yeah, it should go to where other headings are. So post. And don't forget to always check your work by doing Ctrl S. Remember to click Ctrl S. Work is saved. Ctrl S. Save this. So go to the next one. Go to the next one. And let's say that should be heading 3. That should be heading 3. Okay. So that should be heading 3. Come over to it and copy it. Ingredients. So ingredients for the dough. And it both should be heading 3, heading 3. See? Copy. Come back here. Go to my heading 3 in between and paste. And the last one is also heading 3. Bring it down. Come over here for the dough. Copy. Get back to your VS Code. Paste. Now let's now start our list. I will say it's 6 lists. So I'll just simply copy the first list and then be pasting it up to 6. Okay, so Ctrl C for copy. The first one, go to here, press enter, paste, press enter, paste, press enter, paste. I'm gonna bypaste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one, paste. That's one. Then I now come over here and start them one after the other. This one is half cup of 1 milk. Copy the half cup of 1 milk. Come over to my VS Code. Then paste it. I can also reduce this, though that will be where I wait. But I can actually reduce this so it will be on one side, the text will be on another side. So that we can easily be dragging them, drag there. So very fast. So I'm using this method because we are beginner. If you are not a beginner, I just do it that way and just drag that. Before you know, under a few seconds, this is done. So copy, go back to your VS Code and paste. Paste. Copy again. So on your own, I will stop here. So on your own, finish up this. This class will not be bored. Okay, you know what I'm doing. Just finish it up and send it to a submission group. Let me see what you did. Okay, let's see if you're able to understand. At least with this tree, you can understand it. So what have we? Remember to remove the dot. This dot that is there is not supposed to be there. The dot is for it will appear that way, so you don't need to be ordered to be double dot. And remember that dot show that is on ordered list. I think it's ordered list, you will see dots. As usual, let's run the VS Code and see what we did. Exactly, see it. So for the remaining ones, you can copy that and complete that remaining one. Now let's go to the next one, which is ordered list. I just told you about on ordered list. Now for on ordered list, you use UN. For ordered list, you use they say they fit well. You have to fit very well. Let's go back. Yes. Come over. So for ordered list is the same thing. Just choose the first letters. What did I say? I say choose the first letters. Okay, those first letters are what matters, not the first letter here in a word, the first letter there in a word. Choose those ones, and that is how you prepare your unordered list. So it becomes ON, O for ordered, L for list. Don't forget that. So simply put OL, and you also bring it down and use your LI as well. Same LI. Okay. And as usual, how many are there on our unordered list? Let's go back to our Microsoft Word and see what our client told us to do. If you check very well for the filing instruction, okay, under instruction, 1 is up to 10, but I will just do the first 3 while you complete the remaining one as usual. So let me just copy and paste. I'll copy this and paste it in 3 places, but for you, you paste it in 10 places. So that way you're able to master what you're learning. 2 and 3. So as usual, let's take the first one, which is minced meat and yeast and egg. See if you copy. Go back to our VS Code. We'll paste. Go to the next one. which is met, make, and this is dot. Copy it. Go back to your VS Code and paste. You go to the last one, which is add flow and the rest of them. No, I want to use this. You see, go back to our VS Code and paste. Then don't also forget to remove the numbers. Those numbers are showing that it's ordered list, so you don't need it. The others will appear double number when we run our code, and we don't want to see double number when we are running our code. Okay, so we just make sure that we remove those numbers and make sure that we get everything very clear. Okay, so let's run it as usual. Ctrl S for save. Then open your VS Code, Lifesaver, sorry, your Lifesaver, and scroll down because you know we have a lot of things right now. You see it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So for these two, I want to do so. If you check, there is no heading, but if you check the one that they gave us to do, there's actually heading, and the heading is instruction. This heading should be heading 3, okay? And if you also check another heading, which is for the filing, it's also heading 3, or maybe heading 4 or heading 5. So make sure you do it like this. Everything should be well cleared, well analyzed, and neat. Okay. When you complete it, send it as a submission group, WhatsApp group submission. Let me see what you did. Okay. That is the only way you can see that you are progressing. If I'm doing everything for you, then it won't really be nice. But sometimes you did yourself and I check what you did and say yes, there is progress. Okay. So having said that, let me go to description list. And I told you the work of description list. It helps describe. For example, and I told you that you use GL for a start, just like you use OL and OL and UL. So for description you use DL, and that DL just saying description list. And in that description list, you have the heading, okay, which is DT, and also you have DT. So DT stands for heading or title. Why did you have to the description or the body of what you're writing? Okay, so don't forget that. So let's also go ahead and show you one example of it. So let's do here they use K, I'll use something else. Maybe I'll use Apple or whatever. So let's come over to our VS Code without wasting much time. Let's scroll down to where we stopped. Description list. So you use DL, you bring it down so I can put other things in between. Remember, this is what we call nesting. When you have in between a tag, you open another tag on it. But don't worry, when you get there, I will also explain nesting to you. I believe if I have not done that, I will explain nesting to you. You understand nesting? So the next one we should start with that should be the title. I think it's better we start with the title instead of us going to DD, because DD, like I told you, start for description. So before we describe, we should give it a title first before describing the title. Okay, so for that reason, let's start with DT, which is the title first. Okay, write your DT. DT stands for title, and let's say Apple. Now this is Apple. I want to now describe Apple. What will I use? Use DD. Apple is a sweet green fruit. It's just an example, okay? Apple is a sweet green fruit. Ctrl S for save. Let's run it. Use your lifesaver, put your lifesaver to run it. Scroll to where this is, and this is it. You see I put it like a title. It appear Apple just the way this for the dog appeared. So for when you're using DT and DD using DL, the DT, which is the title, HTML understand that this is a title. I'm going to put a picture of a title, and then the DD, you know that this is a description. Now describe what that title is all about. If you check very well, let me do it so you understand what I'm trying to explain. Start. See the way you put the apple at the left, at the very corner here is different from the description. Okay, so that is the function of description list. Please don't just work based on what I'm teaching you. Explore, research, do a lot of work. Practice. Let me tell you one reason. This class was to be every day or once in 2 days. What do we do? We want the class to be twice a week. There's a reason for that. And we don't want the class to say 10 to 20 minutes. There's no reason for that. So that anything you learn in a short time, use hours and days to re-practice it. But then you practice, by the time you get to the next class, you must have gotten something. You must have become part and parcel of you. So if I rush you and push every class to you, you might likely forget. The work will become overwhelming. But at your own time, so don't just focus on what I teach you. Learn more. Expand your horizon. That is how you can become a professional web developer. Okay? So once again, thank you for listening to us. See you in our next class. Thank you.